Hello, everybody. How are you guys? We're having so much fun in Atlanta, and this video is going to be focused on the community of Norcross, which appears to be in the northeast part of the Atlanta metro. And what a great town! This is going to be 3 fun facts about Norcross, things that I didn't know. And of course, I'm not an expert, and this is something I learned. These fun facts I learned from a young woman who I met at the Chinese food place as we were talking about the area, and I was talking to her about my videos. She told me these 3 fun facts. Now, I mean, she had a T-shirt on that said Gwinnett County or bust, and she also had a belt that said Norcross Georgia, USA. So I assume there's some local connection and that there's some credibility there, but if you know better, let me know. So primarily where the name come from, and Norcross was founded back in 1870. It was named for a guy named Jonathan Norcross, who was one of the first motocross kings in the United States, especially the Norcross style of motocross. Now, of course, motocross has a lot of different strains, a lot of different niches. Norcross is the northern riders, people that are used to riding on ice, on snow, in the rain, in the mud. A lot of people tend to think of them as the tougher riders because they're used to adversity, they're used to tough conditions. But nonetheless, Norcross came about or was founded, or however you said, in 1870. By which time Jonathan Norcross had been a Norcross and motocross champion for more than 20 years. So that connection is loose today. There's not a lot of that left. The motocross headquarters and centers of influence have moved on from the area. But you can see where it was big in those days because of the terrain. The terrain is rolling, it's undulating, it's got some variety. There's some hills, but they're not too bad. There's pine stands. There's shopping areas that you can run your motorcycle along the roof of a strip mall, for example. So there's a lot of reasons to settle in this area and continue with your motocross activities, and you can see why he named, or you can see why this area was named after him, or through his efforts, through his lobbying. More than likely, is my guess, but it was a long time ago. I mean, he probably stood up in a chamber meeting and said, y'all better name this town after me, because we've had 3 folks up in here that have got their own towns and I ain't got nothing. And then he probably kick-started his motocross bike and sped out of the chamber meeting like kicking up papers and dirt and making a dramatic exit. But some people get emotional. So that's fun fact number 1. Now, fun fact number 2 is Norcross has its own university system. There are 17 universities in Norcross: the University of Norcross, University of West Norcross, etc. There's 17 of them, and they all have different specialties and majors that they've influenced or that they specialized in over the years. For example, some are better at law, some are better at business, sciences. It just depends on what your goals are, which one you'd want to attend. And of course, because they have so many of their own universities, they have their own league, the Norcross Collegiate Athletic League, a collegiate athletic league that has sent so many athletes to the pros in various disciplines around the world. So it's an exciting community because it's intellectually stimulating. I mean, you can be at the laundromat watching the dryer tumble, And you could strike up a conversation with somebody sitting next to you about quantum physics, English literature, Western civilization, Eastern religions, a lot of different topics that perhaps in certain suburbs of, let's say, Wilmington, that they're just not going to be able to handle. And nor should they, but it's just the nature of this town. And finally, fun fact number 3 about Norcross, Georgia, is that it's the center for so many RV drive-in theaters. There are, when you're in your RV and you're driving around the United States and you're hauling 32 feet of some of the finest road-worthy recreational vehicle machinery, well, sometimes you just want to relax without having to pop in an old VHS or a DVD or fire up the Netflix or what have you in your luxury RV. You want to go to a drive-in. But have you ever taken your RV to a regular drive-in? You can't even get that speaker up on the window. There's not enough cable. So they have RV drive-ins specifically designed for recreational vehicles. And now you might say, well, they're going to take up way too much space. You would have, congrats to you. That's a very good observation. I mean, I don't know how you came up with that, but that was good. You should probably play the lottery because you're on a roll. So what they take up an extraordinary amount of space, these RV drive-ins. Especially because if it's a romantic movie like Kentucky Fried Movie or Dazed and Confused, something romantic, sometimes the people watching the movie want to get romantic. And they may leave the front seats of the RV and retire to the chamber area. Well, I mean, at that point, then nobody knows what's going on with the movie. You can just hear the audio. So they have special RVs the size of football fields for one movie. Just for one movie, they've got something the size of 5 football fields to get all the RVs in there. And a lot of times the modern RV driver is not a spring chicken. So they have medical facilities on site for anybody that might have some lower back pain, perhaps some leg issues, restless leg syndrome, or maybe just the aches and pains of aging and devoting yourself to creating a life that allowed you to grow a family, and for that family to grow a family, and therefore create a population in your community that is going to church, going to school, going to work, and minimizing the amount of crimes that they want to engage in. In other words, a fine, upstanding family and community, and therefore they should get taken care of where they won't just want to go down to the RV drive-in, and see a movie like Rambo or any of the classics, Top Gun. I mean, why shouldn't they be able to see Top Gun from their RV for a reasonable price? Well, they can, and it's this town, more than anywhere in the United States, that is doable. Guys, that is the 3 fun facts. Those are the 3 fun facts of hundreds of fun facts about towns and communities in this area that we're going to be covering over the next few days as we learn about Atlanta. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm from Ohio. I'm from California. And I come down here and I'm just learning from the locals, like the lady at the laundromat, the guy at the Top Golf over there in South Carolina who clued me to some information about Atlanta. I'm learning from the people that live here. I'm taking the information from the real people, the salt of the earth. Okay? So come back for more. We're going to have a lot of fun.